Not only has it shot the lights out, but we've seen that demonstrated with, the huge upticks as far as strength of US dollar, overall manufacturing, and, of course, where the Dow and the S&P play. So, yes, 2019 is going to be 3 rate rises, they're sure. There could even be 4, who knows, and then leading into 2020. But, it's got a lot of momentum behind it at the moment and very much a bull market.
Right. So, Peter, overall as well, that's with regards to where rate hikes go. Now, the US GDP, if you go to see at 4.2% in this quarter, that's the fastest that we've seen in 4 years. Going ahead as well, what do you make of this kind of a number? And do you think that the tariff war is something that could have an impact on the economic growth?
Well, first off, if you're looking at that number, I would have to say that, yes, it's probably got further upside from here, and I wouldn't be surprised, normally it's lagging a little bit as far as, real value. So you may see it tick up another, 10 or 15% from that particular point. The next part, as far as tariffs, that's an unknown. We haven't been down these waters before. It's certainly uncharted in so many ways. I'll be writing about it in years to come as far as case studies from economic theory. And all university professors have all got a mixed view as far as what the big picture is. But from the man on the street, a lot of people are certainly applauding President Trump for it. So it's a hard one to actually ascertain. And what happens in 2019 after China gets a wake up call? Is he going to spread his binoculars across to Korea? Will he look at Japan, and he will look at a number of other markets? So I think 2019 could be a very fascinating time for US trade.
All right, it will be a fascinating time for US trade. On the commodity front, of course, crude, Peter, help us understand everything that's been happening so far. I mean, the kind of comments coming in contrary to one another. On one side, Trump attacks OPEC. On the other side, they're pushing for sanctions on Iran and pushing countries like India to stop all imports from Iran. You have oil that continues to remain at elevated levels. You're talking of supply side concerns. Winter is coming up. I mean, what's going to happen with crude prices? Are they going to remain at this $80 plus mark for the Brent going forward from here?
Well, I mean, that's the great unknown. And, you're looking at so many different views on this. We're understanding as far as that supply loss as far as Iran. You've got declining output in Venezuela, and we all understand where that is. From it's a basket case economically. God help the poor, the population. And then you think of what the situation is as far as President Trump and his comments to OPEC or regarding OPEC. These, the current price. There is talk out there. The CEO of Total saying you could see $100 number. Many of the other oil, analysts are saying you could see a high 90s. Investment banks and so on. So. The old story, don't get in the way of a bull market, but it's had a very nice uptick over the last couple of months, and a lot of those hedge funds are really long, and they're enjoying those, big speculation plays. So whilst you've got this, you've also got the other side, which is a stronger US dollar all the way through. So it's hitting countries like India as far as from the hip pocket and from the wallet, the purchase price, as far as crude and other costs. That's the great issue at the moment. So we're working through all of that at the present time, and it's just a work in progress.
Right. So, Peter, very interestingly, as you're mentioning, the street is looking at $90 per barrel, $100 per barrel. Yes, sanctions on Iran, as well as if you see the seasonal demand is pretty strong in the month of October as well. So that will impact crude prices. But do you think $80 per barrel could become the new normal till the time, the full OPEC member meeting comes up in the month of December?
I wouldn't be surprised. I've got to say that it'll probably hold these numbers leading into that. We're only just over 2 months away. It'll be the 3rd of December in Vienna. But Monday the 3rd, I'll be attending that meeting. And I think that at the present time, there are so many moving parts considering where Iran plays, what happens with the Saudis increasing production, and the unknown with Venezuela and so on. So I think, and this will all push ammunition to OPEC to hold these sort of numbers or try and get these sort of numbers. They've had a very shaky, last 6 or 7 years. We've seen crude all over the shop as far as price, and OPEC are now starting to realise that they like these sort of, cost structures around that $80 to $90 a barrel. So I think that leading up to OPEC meeting on the 3rd of December, prices will stay around these sort of levels. They'll whip through a little bit, but I don't think you're going to see $100 in the next 8 weeks.